What if I told you your life isn't happening to you, but rather responding to you? Every thought you think and every pattern you repeat is silently shaping the reality you wake up to every single day. I'm sure you've noticed how when you're in a negative mindset or headspace, everything around you feels off and negative as well. Or vice versa, when you feel aligned and focused, things just seem to flow a lot more naturally. Well, that's not random. It's not just coincidence. It's quite literally you creating your reality. In physics, everything is energy. And when I say everything, I literally mean everything from solid matter like this desk or this book or a journal, all the way to the things you can't see, such as our thoughts. And every thought you think carries a certain frequency. And this is actually explained in detail in this book called Letting Go by David Hawkins, where he basically presents a map of consciousness, which is a scale of each emotion and the frequency it carries. So, for instance, the lowest vibrational emotion to carry is the feeling of shame, which is at a 20. And the second lowest is guilt, which sits at a frequency of 30. As the scale continues to increase, the frequencies become higher. The highest state being enlightenment, which is at a frequency of about 700 to 1,000. And the second highest being peace at a 600. So, anyways, going back to creating your reality, once you understand that thoughts are energy vibrating at different frequencies, then you can look at your body not just as a body, but as a receiver or an attractor. And the question you should ask yourself is, what am I tuned into? Think of it like this: your mind is like a signal or a satellite, and what you constantly think, feel, and focus on, you tune yourself into certain experiences. Whether those experiences are positive, negative, fear based, or abundant, over time, your inner world and everything that you've been thinking will start to shape your outer world. So, if your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or negativity, that becomes your baseline. That becomes your normal frequency. And life isn't bad necessarily because it's against you, but it's like that because that's quite literally the frequency you're operating in on a consistent basis. It's kind of like in old TV. And old box TV can't run the same apps or access the same channels or streaming services as the newer smart TVs. And it's not because these applications and streaming services don't exist, but because the box TV doesn't have the capacity to allow these apps to work. So, do you upgrade your receiver or your temple? Or do you stay on loop with the same channels and programs over and over again? Because me, I'm a upgrade always. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade this receiver, this temple of mine before I'm stuck in any loop. At least now, okay? That's what healing is for, okay? Anyways, this is where things get a little deeper because in actuality, it is all a cycle. It's all a loop. Your thoughts shape your internal state. Your internal world shapes your actions create your reality, and then that reality reinforces your thoughts. So you end up stuck in a loop without even realizing it. So, how do you break it? Well, the first step to pretty much anything, especially in healing, is awareness because you can't change what you don't see. But the moment you become aware of your patterns, your habits, and your thoughts, you have the ability to change. For an example, we've all been there where we're having that moment of brain rot or feeling unmotivated. So you just lay there when you know you should get up and study or work on something or just do something productive overall. But instead, you just scroll or go back to sleep or do something else that is distracting you. And it is in that moment right there that you are shaping your reality, that you are creating your life. It is so important to understand that you are making a choice in that moment. Even if you decide to continue to lay there and do absolutely nothing, when you look at it as a choice rather than something that's just automatically happening to you, you take your power back. Yes, these distractions may happen so automatic that it does feel like it's out of your control. And although it might feel like a habit, it started as a decision. And so every time you repeat it, you reinforce to your mind and the divine that that's the version of yourself you want to continue to be. It may seem a little overwhelming to come to terms with the fact that everything you are in life is by choice. Don't get me wrong. We all have trauma, but after a certain age, if you decide to let it continue to dictate your life instead of looking at it to heal it, then you are making that choice to shrink yourself to only be your trauma. So, to digest it all a little easier, my advice to you is don't try to change your whole life overnight. A lot of people start to feel stuck because they look at the entire mountain instead of focusing on one step. The fear of the unknown becomes so powerful that the brain, which is naturally wired to keep us safe, starts to trigger the fight or flight response. And one of the triggers not mentioned enough is the reaction to just freeze. But in those moments of feeling stuck, the reality is at any moment, you have the power to choose differently. You can break the pattern, you can shift the cycle, and you can become someone new by taking that small step. Now, remember, it doesn't happen all at once. And us being imperfect humans, you are kind of bound to mess up. However, if you mess up, don't throw all your progress away by making the same mistake over and over and over and over, because eventually you'll be back at square one and have to start completely over. Healing does not happen overnight. You are literally balancing your lower and higher self, and that takes a lot of hard work. Then, on top of worldly temptations that are literally made to throw us off our path, it's like you absolutely must show yourself grace. And remember, you don't build a new life in a week, especially not one that is built on solid foundation. You build it in small, consistent moments. And the quicker you get back up and keep going, the quicker you break that cycle and create your new reality. So, as difficult as it may feel at times, take it step by step, action by action. If you are laying down feeling stuck, stand up, move your body, shift your energy, splash cold water on your face to wake up your senses. And I know a lot of people probably are going to be like, yeah, whatever to this part, but just hear me out, because something I've learned along my journey is to actually first start with that one thing you've been putting off, even if it's literally just working on it for 5 minutes. Because let's be for real, we've all been there where we overthink the hardest task and it becomes this weight on our shoulders, making it seem harder and further away the more we push it off. Whether you're avoiding the task due to uncertainty or being uncomfortable or just not knowing which direction to go, if you just bear with that uncomfortable feeling for 5 minutes, take the workout, sit with the project, and set a timer. Whether you're just brainstorming or just thinking, like, or just writing something, like, it does not matter. As long as you take that workout and sit with it for 5 minutes, even if you don't do anything, you're just sitting there looking at the page for 5 minutes. This is an automatic way to get your energy moving. And you'll either one, get more motivation to continue even longer, or two, do exactly what you can for those 5 minutes. Even if it doesn't look like much right then, Don't be discouraged if you feel unmotivated to do more in the moment. Just think about the long term potential of those 5 minutes adding up every single day. Eventually, you'll look up and see that you're almost finished with the project or with whatever it is that you're working on. So, this process is literally rewiring your brain to do the hard work first by producing more serotonin, which is built through consistency and taking those meaningful actions, which then leads to more stable happiness and overall well being. Whereas if you make the decision to just fulfill that instant gratification from scrolling or watching TV, your brain produces more dopamine, which it's okay sometimes, to have that dopamine, but it's a lot more short lived and it keeps you stuck in a loop of needing that energy boost. And this is actually where addictions come from, needing that constant hit of dopamine, receiving it quickly, then the next day repeating the same thing because your body's addicted to that quick fix. So, as you delay that gratification and take the small steps of creating new habits towards the hard work or the things you're putting off, you will then lead yourself into a life that is not only more fulfilling, but is also in alignment with stability. You will then eventually look back and see how your new actions have literally become your new reality. Now, if you're unsure of what habits to form, take a second and imagine the kind of person you want to become. Research others who live a similar lifestyle to the one you desire. Put yourself in new places, expose yourself to different experiences, and study the environment. If you want to become a better public speaker, study people who have great social skills and implement certain things you find helpful into your life while also finding a way to make it your own, of course. In those moments of feeling stuck or unmotivated, ask yourself, if I was living in my desired reality right now, what would that version of myself be doing right now? And then take action. Don't just think about it, take that action. It's essential. It is so important that you create physical evidence of that new version of yourself every day so you can actually stand in it, not just talk about it, but actually be about it. Actually take the steps into that new reality through your choices, your habits, your self talk, what you watch, what you listen to, who you surround yourself with. Just overall, what are you feeding your mind, body, and soul? And when you become aware of the different choices you're making in life, the ones that are bringing you into alignment with your highest potential are the ones that keep you stuck in the same loops, you then take your power back and you now have the ability to choose differently. Just remember that your future self is quite literally relying on the actions and decisions you make today. You don't just wake up being great. You have to take those actions, you have to take those steps, no matter how small they are. It's the small things that makes such a difference in changing your reality and stepping into that new version of yourself. So, don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself grace and take the small step. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any type of way, gave you a little motivation or anything along those lines, even if it is just one person, I am doing my job. And I'm so grateful that you are here and you received what you needed to receive. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share, do all that greatness, and peace. Love you so much.